Hey guys, Jamie Cinq-Mars here. This is an additional, call it a mind over matter. I normally do these on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Today, I see my camera's a little bit unfocused, but I'll back up just a bit. Here's that. Okay. I usually do them at 9 a.m. on Thursdays, but I decided to do a second one today at 9 p.m. I had a big topic that I was really big. Really excited about, and it had a lot to do with a trend that I thought I might have identified a little while back, and it really came to light last week, and I think it might help some people really, sort of break through. So I thought I better get on it. So basically, you know. It comes down to learning, all right, and it's all about the learning concept, and whether or not you're an intentional learner or whether or not you're an accidental learner. And being an intentional learner means that you specifically decide that you're going to learn a new skill, and you set out to do that. Being an accidental learner, you kind of fall into some new ideas, and unfortunately, retention rates are significantly lower if you're an accidental learner. So now, the reason why this sort of came to light and why I was sort of turned on to this concept was, there seems to be a number of people who are coming to the Global Online Franchise and the Academy of Online Success who there's two people that I specifically wanted to address, and that was those that have been in the industry for a number of years and have had minor amounts of success, not really losing money, but not really making money, maybe break even a little bit more, a couple $100 a month, nothing major. And then there's the ones that have been in business for a long period of time, and everything they do, it always falls apart, and they end up losing money, and they're probably career they're down $500,000 or more, but it's all over a long period of time, so it's less painful. Lose $100 a month here and there for a number of years, and you can be down 10 grand, and it doesn't necessarily feel like you're losing money, right? But they come to the Academy of Online Success, and they come to the Global Online Franchise with an already a knowledge base, right? And they have experience. They have that I've been there before kind of attitude, and not that that's a terribly bad attitude, but it does have its caveats. And one of those caveats is, just the fact that they're bringing with them some unsuccessful experience. So experience about how to be unsuccessful. That's what they brought with them. That's a mindset. Not the unsuccessful part, but just the mindset of what, well, I already know this. Well, that's a mindset. You've told yourself you know it. So it's a mindset. So you're not prepared to learn anything, right? So I find that those that have come along with, and they haven't had a whole lot of success, and maybe, for sure they haven't had any residual success, which is why they're still working their butts off at it. Residual success is the kind of money that comes in whether you're working or not. Now, what the problem I'm seeing is that, as a general rule, when people come to the Academy or the Global Online Franchise and they take a look at the training, they have a lot. They may be saying this to themselves a few times. Oh, I know how to do that, or yeah, I've done this before, and not in a way that they think GOF is bad, or that the Academy is bad, or that it's not producing quality training. It's just from a standpoint that I know this already, so I'm not going to listen closely or intently or intentionally. Right? We talked about intentional learner, accidental learner. They are not intentionally listening or reading intentionally. They're just going through the motions because we said go step one and do it. Yeah, that's okay. Here's the kicker. You're approaching this with massive blinders on, right? You're not seeing all of the you can't see the forest for the trees, right? Essentially, is the ultimate phrase, right? You're standing there in the forest, you see the trees, but you can't see the forest. Each tree is different. You have to, I don't know how to better describe it, but I mean, when you come to something with unsuccessful experience, that is all you really have. You already know how to do this and that, and it prevents you from learning anything. You're basically your blockers and blinders are on, and you're not going to produce any kind of, viable result. Basically, you're glossing over videos. The written word, you just skim it. And you're looking for those little magic pieces of the puzzle that were going to skyrocket you to success. Well, it's basically suicide. You get into these new businesses and you don't even bother listening to anything that anybody has to say because you already know everything. That is where the mindset shift has to change. The mindset shift has to change. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about a student of mine who I'd been working with quite closely, and over a period of time, she had her struggles, and we talked and we met, a couple times a week, and we went over the game plan and the action plan and everything that was going on. And lo and behold, one day pardon me, let me back up a bit. There was like about 3 or 4 months where she had this really, really slow growth. Like it was just snail's pace growth, and it was kind of frustrating to me being the teacher, hoping that I could, because she was such a great student. And then there was a quick shift, and suddenly for everything that she accomplished in the 3 months, in the 4th month, she accomplished the same amount that she did in 3. And then in the 5th month, she matched months 1 through 4. It was like exponential growth, just bang, 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 bang. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. What the heck did I do? And I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that no matter what I say or do or prepare, or the onus is still going to be on her because she's the one taking the action. We don't live in the same city. We don't even live in the same country. So, we don't just, we can't meet together and she give me her homework and I can write it out for her. It doesn't work like that. So she did all the work. Give her 100% credit. So one day we were just chit-chatting. This is months into it already, when success is really just falling all around her. And we were just chatting, and she said, I need to be honest with you. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't think there was anything wrong, right? And what she wanted to be honest about was quite simple, that she wanted to let me know that what she was attributing her success to, and why things changed so dramatically suddenly. And I'm like, yeah, I remember how it kind of shifted really quick. I just thought maybe all that work you had done was finally catching up to you, because there is that kind of a progression in a marketing world where you do some stuff in the beginning that doesn't get a lot of traction, then suddenly it gets traction and off it goes, right? But anyway, in her case, she said to me that it was her approach, the way that she came into the academy, and the way that she approached the lessons the Academy of Online Success were giving her. What she decided, and this is a mindset position, a mindset decision. She made a decision that she made a decision that she was going to wipe the slate clean and start over from the very beginning of the Academy of Online Success and all the training. She completely shut down all of her marketing to start over fresh. And that in itself sounds like the perfect thing to do if things aren't working. But here's the kicker, and here's the little piece of information that I found to be the most critical in this story she told me. Not only did she wipe the slate clean of the marketing she had already done, most importantly, she wiped this slate clean. This is her story. This is what she told me. She came into it and she was glossing over videos and not taking notes and not paying attention because she already knew how to do some stuff. She had had some experience online, and she just coasted through the training. So she decided she was going to go back to it like she was a newbie, a newcomer to the internet, and never learned a thing. So she started over from scratch. She even redid her Facebook pages and her Facebook profile, and she started a whole new one. Everything. Exponential growth in the months that followed that mindset decision. She had to get her ego out of the way. Instead of saying, I know how to do this, I want them to show me how to do this. Because they are doing what I want to do. And all of that baggage I've brought to this table is actually preventing me from having success. Well, bravo to her, because that was a huge deal. So she went through all the videos. She took notes. She never went ahead. She didn't watch a video and then do like 17 steps because she knew how to do them. She did every step as the video suggested to do it. Does it sound tedious? Does it sound painstaking? Does it sound maybe ridiculous? It could. Because when you already know how to do something, it's really hard to stop and do it like you did when you first learning how. It's tough. You know, I was The E-Myth, which is one of my favorite books of all time. It talks about the hiring of new people. And one of the things that it talks about in that book is the best person to hire is someone straight out of college. Let's take a trade, for instance. Let's talk about bakery. All right, let's use bakery as an example. I used it this morning. It's fresh in my mind. Now you're in a bakery and your bakery's doing really well, and you're not looking to replace anybody. Your business has grown so much that you actually just need new employees. You need to add more staff so that you can continue at the level you're at. So what do? You run an ad, right? Most people look for applicants who have had many years experience. The problem with that is that when they arrive at your bakery, they bring all of that experience with them. And everyone's like, what do you mean that's a problem? The mindset of that person with the 20, well, most of them, I'm going to say all of them, because there are some people who are mature enough to understand that they don't run the place. But what the experience does is it brings them into the environment and they immediately try to apply the knowledge they already have. Not the knowledge of baking, the knowledge of experience. And that's where the problem lies. You take the person straight out of school, they know how to bake bread just the same as the guy from 20 years ago. They both know how to make bread. But this person coming out of college is going to bake the bread the way that in the procedure and in the way, using the steps and the routines that you've set in place that has made your business success. This dude who's got 20 years experience is coming in and may and likely will see your routines and think that there's a better way to do them and try to change the course of the way you run your business because he did it a different way over here. Well, I did it like this for 20 years and it worked just fine. Yeah, but that's not how we do it here, right? And that's a big piece of the puzzle. Now, it's the same concept. Now, if that person who had 20 years experience was willing to erase the experience side of it and only take the knowledge of baking product and bring it into the new environment and be prepared to clean this slate, open up the mindset, go completely into a learning phase, intentional learning phase, guess what? He could learn the routines, he could learn the patterns, he could learn the steps, he could learn the opportunities, and then if in fact he can identify a place where there's an inefficiency, he could very well have a sit down with the owner and say, hey, I noticed there's a little inefficiency here. Here's a suggestion. There's a big difference. First, you learn how they do it, and then you change it, or make an attempt to if you have to. But point being is that you have to come into it with an open mind. And this student of mine is the most perfect example that I could ever ask for when it comes to this mindset shift. She completely approached it with, I know nothing. I need you to teach me. I am a clean slate. Show me what to do. I think the magic here is that if someone can be aware of this and make that powerful decision, they're absolutely on a path of gold. You know, Paul Birdsall has said it 1,000 times, and I mean, I've heard him say it 1,000 times. I've heard it in his videos. I've heard it. He's, in conversations we've talked about this concept. We're clearing a path for people to run on, and that's quite literally what we're talking about here. Instead of trying to pave the path in front of you, just run on the one that's paved right there. We did that for you. So it makes it golden. The other piece of this puzzle is that if you have experience and you're trying to get through a new routine or a new setup or a new structure, you may, by coming to it with an open mind, you may come to it with you're not going to get overwhelmed because you understand what's going on, but you're not trying to reinvent the wheel with your knowledge. You're going to have the ability to absorb this information in a much more comprehensive way, and the clarity is outstanding. You just have to understand that. So I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter than I did last for the other day, because I do need to take off pretty soon. So not the other day, earlier this morning, but just to wrap things up, I'm just going to say to you guys, know this. The knowledge you bring to the table is invaluable. The experiences that you bring to the table are invaluable. The really key to the key is that if you see somebody doing something that you want to do, or that is having success in an arena that you want to have success in, it is completely irrelevant what your experience is at this point. You have to come to the table and take your lumps. You're a newbie to the global online franchise. You're a newbie at the Academy of Online Success, whether you have 5 years experience, 10 years experience, or 20 years experience on the internet. If you're coming to the Academy of Online Success or the global online franchise to make money, my thought is that in your 10 to 15 or 20 years experience, you might have figured it out that you wouldn't need to be here. So the sooner we can kick the ego out the door, get out of our own way, and understand that we need to be intentionally learning like a newbie would, we can put our experiences to work. Once we have the structure and the pattern set up that GOF has laid out for us, and then boom, lights out. Take it down. If you're new to this whole thing, don't go out and change the world. Don't do things that we haven't suggested that you do. It's not because they don't work. It's not because we just can't help you support it. I mean, I see it all the time in the Facebook. I went and tried this, it didn't work. What's happening? I don't know, because I don't do that. It's not one of the marketing methods I use. But there's like 100 of them that we produce for you between the Global Online Franchise and the Academy of Online Success. So why not pick some of those and we'll help you out. Anyway, guys, the big takeaway here has to be intentional learner versus accidental learner. Which one are you? I suggest you become an intentional learner and make it a daily goal to learn something new. That doesn't mean learn something you've never learned before. Learn something in a new way. You've heard the phrase, there's more than one way to skin a whatever animal you want to call it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to skin a rabbit. There's more than one way to skin a whatever. Because there's more than one way. I mean, if what you've been doing for the past 20 years hasn't yielded walk-away residual income, I'm just going out on a limb here. Perhaps you just want to follow in our footsteps instead. Just wondering. Anyway, guys, have yourself a great day or a great evening, a great weekend. Holiday season is upon us. It's really basically 2 weeks away. What day is today? The 11th? Yeah, it's exactly 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today, it'll be a big holiday time for everyone. So anyway, have yourself a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.